Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with dealing with the Mikadono sisters is a breeze episode number 3 and 4 reaction, two episode reaction because I missed the previous week. My computer was not working and yes, so I'm trying to complete both the episodes to catch up to the normal schedule. So two episodes reaction, just like the previous week, how we had two episodes. I'm going to react to both episode 3 and 4. React to both episodes first, then talk about both of the episodes at the end. Okay, so the previous two episodes was a great start. I've said this before as well. I have read the manga before, and even though I don't probably remember most of the details, I do remember the premise. So it was nice to see the characters getting animated, and we met the three sisters, we met the main character, and we saw how he's not really talented, but he's like very hardworking. He also has this whole thing about wanting a family, so he wants to kind of be like a family with the sisters, while the sisters are the last thing that can be called a family because they each have their own schedules. They're very busy with their stuff. So him coming and he's like trying to kind of help them become more like more like sisters, more like a family, which they never really did. Like making food, eating at the same table, saying goodbye when they're going, all these things. Yeah, and the second episode had we kind of focused on the eldest girl. I've forgotten all their names. The eldest girl who got sick a little bit, and the main character kind of helped her out, uh, to helped her out and made her like food and everything. At first she was not really, she didn't want to eat it, but then by the end of it, everything kind of worked out. So yeah, now let's see what happens in episode 3 and 4. Let us begin. Episode 3 reaction first. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's begin. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, let's go. Oh, she is eating with them. Eating real food. Yeah. Oh, bruh. Wow, all the scratches and everything. Oh, right. I want us to be a family. Damn, everyone's busy with their. Okay. Well, right. I was gonna say. Crazy. Yeah. Damn. Hmm. Yeah, he's thinking like the same thing might repeat here as well. Well, oh, he's watching the. Hmm. Right. Well, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, one of them is back. Oh, all of them are back. Wait, didn't they say it's gonna be late? Is it that late? Right. Damn. All six of them. Uh. Yeah. Yeah, but still, she is kind of right. No. Damn. Yep. But he wants a family. Hmm. Oh. Damn. They're gonna get. Right. Oh no. They are gonna be like, wait, what? Oh boy. Yeah, they'll be like, wait, what? um, uh, technically not. Training. Oh no, it's going to. Oh, phone. Oh, like, all right. He's like, who's the elder sister and who's the. And there you go. Oh boy. Bruh. Oh boy. Oh my god, what's happening? Hey yo! That's his reaction. Oh god. Um, she is deducing it. Wow. Bruh. Yeah. Oh, you're also. And he has no clue what's going on in the background. Oh, bruh. Oh. Oh boy. Right. Yeah, you're the one saying that? Oh my god, what is this? This is crazy. How can someone be this? Right. Well, at least it's progressing. Yeah. Oh, what is that? Hmm. Okay. Oh. What 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 is that in the middle? I've forgotten. Like, even though I've read the manga. Hmm. Oh yeah, true. It was. Wait. So um. So who dropped that here? Yeah. Or. Hmm. Well. Right. Okay. Oh, are they close to each other? Okay. Oh, I've already done it. Wait, did they? Oh, I think he might have like booked the same hotel, or maybe not. If they're close to each other. Okay, maybe not. I'm forgetting this part. I don't remember this part properly. All right. Damn, instant. Okay, and you won. Fourth degree master. Right. Cherry Blossom Night Festival. Oh, is this the place in the picture? Right. Hmm. Yeah, I think that he made sure that they're in the same hotel. There you go. So all of them are like almost in the same place. There you go. Oh. Oh boy. Yep. What a coincidence. All three of them. And he's here as well. Damn. Damn. Yeah. They'll be like, we don't have the time. We have to practice. Oh, wait, the festival, right? And we have the Komainu as well. So they went to that festival before, and that's where the picture is from. Right. Oh boy. Oh boy. Damn. What? Oh, damn. Yeah. He made a festival guide. Hmm. Right. He's ready with that as well. He brought dresses. Oh, never mind. Okay. At least he's not that prepared. Right. Hmm. All right. Yeah. Kitty pattern. Oh, what? Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, that's why. Because she's like, I'm okay. She wanted like few dresses. Oh boy. Well, yeah. What in the? Hmm. Well, maybe she doesn't want that. Maybe she likes the other one. Yeah. Ask the person what you want to wear. Yeah. Okay. Right. Kazuki's face. Oh lord. Oh. Wait, that's okay. Okay, so this is gonna continue next episode. Alright. Oh wait, are they, is this anime going to do themed ending songs? Probably. That's good. All right, that was cute. All right, let me go to the next one. Episode number 4, and then I'll talk about both the episodes. All right. Episode number 4 reaction. Let's begin. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Take it to whichever is your preference, and let's get started. All right, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. And we're here. Oh damn, Kazuki. Yeah, Kazuki's pretty popular, like social media wise. So like all of them are popular, but Kazuki would be like instantly recognized because she's in the modeling and. Well, this defeats the purpose. Yeah. Uh, they can like be free. Uh, well, she cannot help it. It's her people. The people are, yeah. Well, this is what happens when you're this popular. Who the? Yeah. Bruh. Oh, damn, she instantly teleported behind her. Yo. Oh, God. The person behind her is like. Well, that's a fake smile if I've seen one. She's like, ah, yeah. Hmm. A memory the sisters can share. Oh my god, hey! Well, that helped her get away from the. Hmm. Yeah. No. Oh. What? Oh, she was. Oh, damn. Okay. Oh damn, yeah. Yeah, that could have worked. Hmm. You're right. Oh my god. Yeah, what? That is crazy. What? That is okay. Yeah, that might work actually. Can she see from behind the mask? Right. Right. Well, she's using her intellect. She knows. Wait, what? I don't think she's cheating, is she? Oh, she took out the mask. Oh my god. Yeah, he'll try to find out the Komainu. Oh, there you go. So if you win the thing, then you can get the. Yeah, what type of ninja training is this? What? I remember Naruto used to do this. Oh, so you can only take a picture. All right, makes sense. They're not giving it away or anything. You need to be like light weighted and to properly like jump on the. Yeah. Ah, that makes sense. I was like, how can people do this? Good God. So someone like very. So you have to memorize the whole way. 10 years. So the Mikadono sisters won it 10 years ago. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, but at one point, will it not be obvious that oh, this is the way because everyone's falling? So someone who waits there and observes, or like him, just keep trying up until you find the proper way. Well, try again. Oh right, because of the mud. Yeah, you said you can try as many times as you want. So Oh my God, it's raining as well. Wait, what? Oh my god. Nah, he's like, I have to do this. Yeah. And Kazuki just, yeah, followed them. Teamwork. Okay, okay. Oh no. Okay, okay. Oh, oh. Alright, so he did it. Or no, wait. Okay, yeah. Okay, nice. Alright, trying to bring the sisters in. Where are they? Oh boy. No, wait. Ooh. Yeah, the question is where are they now? It's raining as well. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, well, before that. Damn. What? They were pretty clear about it. They're even shoving the umbrella in front of you. Alright, time for the pic. Wait, what? Did they not snap the pic? What's happening? Oh, I guess, like, he got the result that he wanted. Loses. He's getting wet. So, right, there you go. Yeah. What the hell? Oh god. Yeah. Oh my god. Wait, did you not go? Yeah. Oh. What? I think you should probably go to the bath first. Yeah. Hmm. um. What? Hello? Oh yeah. Oh okay. Yeah. Well, you can just go and ask in the reception, right? Damn. Um. All right. Yeah. Hmm. Well, they are still together, so you know. Oh no! Hopefully, this doesn't affect their schedules next day. Yeah. Right. Is he asleep? No. Okay. Oh, so they did take the picture. All right. Don't fall down. Oh, is this where he? Eh. Okay. What? Oh. Oh yeah. The took back the. Wait. Hmm. All right. So who was it? Who had the original picture? Oh my god. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Like her situation is pretty different because she's like a shogi star, so she doesn't. Hmm. Damn. Wait, what? Damn. Yeah. Oh, there you go. It's her. It makes sense because. So, okay, wait. Right, I guess she probably like dropped the picture over there, so it was unintentional that he found it. But she took it with her later on. As you see, she wrote the note and took it with her. So it was originally her, like the picture that she kept. Okay, there you go. Nice. Well, they were ready. Okay. Right, so today's episode was her focused on. I need to remember the names. Um, I remember Kazuki and Nico's name. I've forgotten her name. I need to recheck. Um, so it was focused on her because technically the picture was her, not her, but she kept it with herself. Okay, I'll talk about this later. Like her situation is a bit different from the other two sisters because of a particular reason. And that's why, like, yeah, she's unlike the other two sisters. She's also popular and she's also prodigious, but her setting is a bit different. All right, is that it? Oh, there's still something left. Oh, this is after he left. What? Okay. No, I feel like, is this a good idea? Because like she's very popular, so a lot of. Yeah. Damn. Buys protein. Yo. You're right. There you go. Okay, and yeah, there you go. That was episode 3. All right, you know what? Let me bring out the character sheet because, like I said, I'm still kind of forgetting the names. So this episode number 4, I have to say, like, even though I watched the manga, I actually forgot about this section. Miwa, okay, that's the name of the youngest girl. Um, so, like I said, I actually forgot this part. The whole who was the one who had the picture with her? It was Miwa, and this is what I'm saying. It makes sense for it to be Miwa because as you can see, Miwa's situation is a bit different. We also saw that in episode number 2 as well, where when the other two, Kazuki and Nico, both of them were like like kind of on their own. Like Kazuki was like like still not hadn't opened up to you. He he went to Miwa because Miwa was the one who was more approachable in the sense that she didn't have this type of like a huge fan base or anything. Like she's obviously she has. I'm pretty sure she has a particular fan base, but that is like more shogi related. She's not like a glamorous like superstar in that sense. Like the amount of popularity or the amount of people that will recognize Kazuki and maybe Nico, the same will not really happen to Miwa. So in that sense, and since she's always with herself, like like kind of focuses on shogi and everything, you can see in school as well, she's just like on her own. While we have Nico with her club, like a lot of people like depending on her and everything. Katsuki is obviously famous. People completely fawn over her and just like go crazy. So those two like are in like a different type of a world than Miwa is. So it was more easier for you to approach Miwa and talk to her and get her help in the second episode. So in the same way, in the fourth episode as well, you can see since Miwa's situation is a bit different, she like obviously she's like also like her sisters, like she's like, oh, I have to like like focus on my shogi, this and that, but like she doesn't have that type of crazy popularity like Kazuki has, where people are just going to like recognize her in the like on the streets or something. So in that sense, she, I don't know, you could say that she has the more, I want to be like a family like kind of thing more with her. Like all the sisters still want to like connect and talk to each other, but she probably had it a little bit more than that, and she probably reminisce, reminisce, wait, reminisced, right? Yeah, wait, yeah, that's the word, right? Oh my god, I'm mixing up the words. She used to think about like the past, about when she and her sisters were close with each other, and that's why she kept the picture with her. Now, I think that the dropping that picture on the table, that was an accident. She kept it with herself, but she probably dropped it there with an accident. She probably left it there, and you found it out. That was an accident, probably. But obviously, later on, when she realized that, oh, this is actually with you, you know, like she took it and wrote that note. And she, obviously appreciated you's help because she did want to kind of go back to those days more, a little bit more than the other two, because she had, I don't know, like she had like a different type of a, she was walking like a different path than the other two. Like, you know, like all three of them are prodigies, but she was more, I guess you could say, home oriented in that sense, because she, as you can see, she doesn't have like the restrictions that the other two have. You have Kazuki and Nico who have this like restrictions, like, oh, I cannot eat this, I cannot do that. Kazuki cannot just go out into the street like thinking that, oh, like people are going to hound him, look, like take pictures of her and everything. She cannot eat like her favorite food, and she have to be like very particular about what she eats and everything, like a proper diet. Same with Nico, she cannot just eat anything and just be like, all right. And she also has this uh, like image that she also has to maintain, which is like, oh, I'm strong, I'm like powerful, I cannot wear feminine clothes, that type of thing, which obviously she doesn't like. She wants to wear dress up as she likes, so they have these type of restrictions with them, and these restrictions kind of made them like make a shell, in which shell they're kind of there inside of it and they cannot come out. Like they might want to come out, but they cannot come out because they're like, oh no, if I do this, if I act vulnerable, what will people say? They envision me as this type of a strong, powerful being. Like Kazuki's like, I cannot show weakness because I'm supposed to be the prince. Nico's like, I cannot wear these pretty dresses because I'm supposed to be like strong, like like a powerful, that type of like a thing, like a, as her father said, you're like a tomboy or whatever at the like at the flashback. People have that vision of them. Miwa, however, doesn't have any of those restrictions if you think about it. Yeah, she is a shogi prodigy, but that's it. People don't really recognize her when she goes out, so she's pretty free to do what she wants. Diet as well. Yeah, she has to keep an eye, obviously, like to probably eat foods which will be helpful for her brain development and everything. Like memory and stuff. But that's it. She can eat whatever she likes. So those restrictions don't apply to Miwa in the same sense it applies to the other two. In that sense, she's a bit different. So she is more out of the circle. There's like a little circle that Nico and Kazuki is in. She's outside of that. So she has a better understanding, and she has a better, like, she has a longing to go back to the days. Just like Yu is completely out of the circle, Miwa's also kind of out of the circle. Like she's like halfway out in that sense compared to Nico and Kazuki. So she probably thought about like going back to the days, becoming like a family and everything, and that's why she kept the picture, thought about it. Yeah, and you found it and you helped her out by the end. And when she realized in the end, when she saw the picture with you, she realized that, oh, you was doing this because of this picture. So in the end, she was thankful of it, and she also took the picture because obviously it was her picture. She kept it with her, and she wrote that little note. Obviously, you didn't figure out who the girl was, but it was her. So yeah, it makes way more sense why it was her. Like, I don't know, I was thinking, because I read this part in the manga and I just probably forgot. So throughout this episode 4, I was thinking, who can it be? Because I was thinking, like obviously these three have their own certain circumstances. So I was like, are they really going to make one character be the one who had the picture with them? And then in the end, it all made sense, and I remembered, and I also realized, I was like, oh yeah, Miwa's situation is a bit different from these other two. So it would make so much more sense for Miwa to be the one who had the picture with her. And that's the difference. Like I said, Miwa has no restrictions in that sense. Unlike the other two, who are constantly at, like people are like watching them and looking at them. Shogi players, yeah, they're obviously popular, they're famous, but only while they're playing shogi. Outside that, yeah, people might recognize you, snap some pictures and all that. But that's it. Nobody's going to tell you that you have to eat this, you have to eat that, or nobody's going to tell you that you have to dress up as this, you have to be like this. Like she doesn't have those restrictions, unlike the other two. So the other two are way more into like a shell, which is more difficult for them to break out of. Unlike Miwa, who is kind of halfway out of it. So she can, like, she's more like you in that sense, where she's like doesn't have any type of restrictions in that sense. Anyways, so yeah, that was like what I wanted to talk about episode 4. Like why it makes sense for it to be like why it makes sense for the picture to be with Miwa. Like, why not the other two? Why not the other two? Like it makes more sense. Anyways, yeah, let me talk about both episodes now. Episode number 3 and 4. Episode 3, we had obviously the Yu was trying to become more like a family with the others. Excuse me. And like, but at first he was like, okay, like like we're becoming kind of like a family, we're eating together and everything. But obviously these girls have their own things that they are doing. They're like, oh, tonight I'll not come back, I have this, I have that, I have to do this, like. So you was thinking that if this continues, it's going to be a repeat of what happened with my mother, because like, as he said, that just like this, he had like made like a distance created between him and her mother, like. And that is what in the end he realized after her mother passed away. He realized how he should have like not given up trying to connect with his mother. Like after losing her, he realized that, and he didn't want a repeat of that. So he doesn't want a repeat of like them breaking apart because of this, because it's kind of like that, like it kind of makes sense, like they, even though like they're eating together and they're also actively trying to like be together and talk together like a family, if their like occupation, like for example, like Kazuki's occupation of like the star and everything, that Miwa's occupation of a shogi player, and Nico being like a martial artist, those are the ones that are kind of, obviously they have to do that because that's their profession, that's their occupation. They have to go and do their thing. So even if they don't want to get away from each other, even if they are now okay to sit down in the same table and eat together, talk together, their profession are going to be a big problem, because they are going to like kind of forcefully tear them apart. Like for example, if they like don't come like home for like a week or something, like they're just like focused on their job and everything, and after that they come back, it's more likely they will sit down on a table and eat together than it was 1 week earlier when they were actually doing that. Because like there's like such a huge gap, they haven't talked to them each other in like 7 days and everything, and they then and especially now, because they are not really accustomed to spending time together, like they have already drifted apart a lot. Especially now, this little bond that Yu is trying his best to create might fall apart before it is even made properly again. Like you need time to properly make it strong, so that like obviously like a time will definitely come when they are able to recreate their bond in such a good way that even if they are like away for like a week or a month, after they come back they will still be good family and talk together, eat together like a family. That will definitely happen, but that's not now, because they're still in the building phase of it, you know so once they build, like once you is able to build the sisters bonds strong enough in such a way, then even if they're not meeting each other for like a week, maybe a month, it won't matter, they will still be a family. But that will happen later, not now. This is barely the building phase. You now you have to be very careful so that nothing hampers their like character, not character side, their like the sisterly bond actually like becoming like a family. No, nothing hampers it. That's why you was kind of afraid that now that finally they're looking eye to eye, they're going to again drift apart because of that, because of like them not like meeting each other for like extended periods of time. Right. So yeah, that's why you was like watching like her mother's like uh the movies that her mother was in, the one that she likes, and she was like reminiscing about the past and everything, crying. I like how this, like Kazuki was like, oh no, not Kazuki, everyone was like, oh no, maybe he's feeling, like sad about his mother. But, obviously that was true, but at the same time, it was more like he was crying because he wanted what was happening in the movie to actually happen, like a family. And when he said that, everyone was like, what the hell are you talking about? I don't have time for this. But like you was like, obviously I'm not going to give up trying to do that. And this is where you finds the picture. So he's like, oh, someone probably wants to go back to the days, like, yeah. And obviously it was Miwa. We get to know that later. Right. And then again they had like a time when they were going to be like apart from each other. So you was like, all right, let's see. The places they are going to go are very close to each other. So let me just book one hotel for all of them to like come in, coincide in, and yeah, that will be great. And he did that. He like booked the hotels for them and everything. And then we had like, and you can see it's pretty obvious in this episode only that it was Miwa's picture, because you can see there's a certain scene here where Miwa was like walking and she like looks out and she was like, oh, there was like back when we were kids, like we were here together, and it's not going to happen now because we have our own thing. So she was kind of reminiscing about the past. So I feel like in this episode a lot of people probably realize that, oh, it was Miwa, the pictures from Miwa. Anyways, I didn't really think much about it at that time, but either way, then we had you come here. If all the sisters meet at the same hotel, they're like, what the hell are you doing here? And you comes in Yu is like, let's go to the shrine, the summer festival. And especially because you saw that, if you win that challenge, you can get the picture with the Koma Inu. So, like, yeah. And so then we went to shopping, like the kimono and everything. Now this is where we get to know what Nico wants. So obviously Nico had this whole thing where she wanted to dress up as like pretty and like pink dresses and everything, while everyone else is like, oh no, that doesn't, like you're more of like the masculine type, so these will make you look handsome and all that. So obviously Nico doesn't want that. Nico has her own, at least let her be her own self when she's all alone on her own. But obviously she has this image to maintain and all that stuff. Yeah, but you was like, oh no, I think this is going to look better on you. What do you think, Nico? That's the question. What do you think? What do you want? And yeah, Nico decided to be honest by the end, and she was like, I want this. Now I'm pretty sure this is obviously Yu's influence, because if I feel like if Yu wasn't here or anything, she would have picked the other dress. Since Yu was here and since Yu was kind of becoming a more influence on her, she decided to be honest with herself and she decided to pick the pink kimono. So right. And she also did her hair and everything. Even her sisters were like, damn, that's crazy. I wasn't expecting you to look like this, and yeah, right. And that's the thing, this is like what I was talking about a few moments ago, restrictions. These are the restrictions. Yeah, nobody's really telling her to dress like this, but it's people who are have this certain vision on her, and they're looking at her in a certain way, putting her in a mold and being like, oh yeah, she's more like she should wear these type of dresses, that type of restriction. It's, I feel like this restriction is the highest for Kazuki, because Kazuki, her whole profession is based on how people perceive her to be. She's an actress, she's does theater, modeling and all of this. So her whole profession is based on how people look at her. So these restrictions are the highest for Kazuki, where she has to be dress up and be someone else, because that is literally her profession. So people look at her and in a certain way. It's highest for her. It's kind of there for Nico, where she's like, oh yeah, I don't have to be hard and fast. There's no hard and fast rule. I have to wear this, but people do look at me like that, so I would have to do this. While this thing is completely non-existent for Miwa, because yeah, people don't really care. She's a shogi player. She people are just people who know her. That's it. She doesn't have any type of restriction like this, where she has to appear a certain way, and and all that. So that's the thing. Kazuki is the highest because she has the most restrictions in that sense. Then Nico and Miwa, it's pretty non-existent. That's why it made sense for Niwa to be the one who wanted to go back to the days, because that restriction is non-existent. She reminisces about the past, unlike the other two who probably reminisces about the past, but at the same time in their head it's continuously oh no, I cannot be like that anymore. I have to be this, because others are looking at me, because they have that restriction with them. So yeah, after that she wore the pink kimono, and that episode ended over there. And then we had episode number 4, where they are in the festival. You can see Kazuki wants to just spend some time normally, but everyone's looking at her and snapping pictures. Here again, you can see the difference. People recognize Kazuki immediately, unlike the other two. So her restrictions are the maximum. She has to be this prince for everyone, even when she's trying to just chill and be herself, because people are just going to recognize her and just be like, oh, let's snap a picture, this and that. So you can see she wasn't really, she was doing her thing, kind of snapping pictures, but she was just wanted to have a nice time, so she couldn't get that. You was able to see that, and you also was able to realize that her strap, feet straps hurt, the sandal straps. He saw it from her expression. So later on, he gets her in one of the bushes, and she's like, I realized what happened. So she put the band-aid on her, gave her like food and everything. And yeah, and then he gave her like a mask. They went to do the goldfish scooping and everything. They were having fun over there. And then we had you in that time trying to win the competition for the thing to get the picture with the Komainu. And he was failing, and everyone's like, oh, like, give up and all that. But he's like, no, I cannot do that. So he goes and wins it. And yeah, and then when he comes back, he was thinking that everyone went home because it's raining and everything. But they're like, come on, we are not that heartless. You brought us here, and we're not just going to leave you like that. So all of them probably went to buy like umbrellas, and that's why they were not there at that current moment. And yeah, and then after that, they had that whole thing where they played rock paper scissors, and Nico won. So she was the one who shared her umbrella with him. Yeah, and I thought like, wait, so they did not snap the picture or something like, but then I was like, okay, maybe they didn't, because like what you wanted did kind of come true. All he wanted was the family to get together, and like, yeah. So I was like, maybe that's why they didn't snap the picture, but no, they did snap the picture, which we get to see later on. Anyways, then you had forgotten to book a hotel, so he was like, I'm just going to go into some internet cafe, but they're like, no, come on, stay here. And everyone was like, kind of like, having their moment with you, and you is completely oblivious, as you can see. They cannot sleep at night. While you was kind of like, and this is where we get to see like what happened after that, where like you snapped the picture for them with the Komainu, and like they were back together like a family. And someone took the original picture with them, and you was like, who was the one who had the picture with them? And we get to know the answer in the end. It was Miwa. Right. Either way, at the end, everyone kind of wakes up, and you was asleep, and they did kind of talk with each other. Kind of bonded together as sisters as well, as you can see. And because they kind of discuss about how as a child, Kazuki used to help Miwa with the shooting practice, and a lot of the other stuff. And then we had them saying like, oh, like Nico, you wanted Kazuki saying like, Nico, you've always wanted to wear like pretty dresses, when you were a kid. I don't know how it is now, but I hope you had fun. Yeah, and each like talk to each other about the whole thing. And in that sense, you can say that Miwa doesn't really have any kind of things that she particularly wanted. All she wanted was spend time as a family, which obviously she cannot bring out, because like she was like, I cannot say that because all of them have their own thing and everything. Even if she wanted to become like sisters and like bond together as a family again, she couldn't say that. So that's why she just kept the picture with her. You being the person who came into their life, like, and him wanting to become a family helped spur on that, and he took Miwa's like wish and fulfilled it for them. So in the end, you can see Miwa is like looking at the pictures on her laptop and everything, and she's thankful. Right. And then by the end, they won their what they were going to do, all of that, like like their shogi match and all that. Even though they barely slept at night, they won that, as expected of prodigies. And yeah, that was that. And the ending song was pretty cute as well. Like obviously, each ending song is like themed at the girl. The first ending song was themed at Kazuki. Second was with Nico, and this one was with Mia, where we see like where we actually see like what Miwa wanted. And the ending song pretty nicely like summarizes and shows how Miwa's like at a distance from the other two. Like I said, those two are in a world of their own, while Miwa's obviously in a world of her own, but her world is a bit different from the other two. So that's why she's like at a distance, you can see in the ending song. But then in the end, when Kazuki comes in, she's able to join the sisters, and yeah. And then the post-credit scenes, we had like a little funny scene where they were like trying to message everyone, and Kazuki was like, oh, let me ask everyone. And then in the end, they were like, no, let's not do that. They were trying to find you. So yeah. Alright, there you go. That was episode number 2. Really good episode. Like I said, I really love this manga. Like I said before, like these are the scenes that made me appreciate the manga very much, because it has like a certain thought to it. It's not like the other harem shows where it's just the same old pattern like over and over again. Like there is thought to the characters. Like like I said, the whole situation with Miwa, it makes so much sense. Like like her situation is so much different from the other two. Like if this was just another like a harem show or whatever, each of the characters would have like a very similar situations to each other. But this show has the, like, I guess you could say they decided to make it a little bit different, where each of them has like a similar situation, but at the same time is very different as well. Miwa is a perfect example of that. How different her situation is with the others. Like even though they are all prodigies, her like her world is a bit different from the other two. And that's why like this whole episode kind of happened. And I think like more stuff like this happens in the manga in the future. Like I said, I've forgotten most of the stuff in the manga, but I do remember this is probably like, this was like the time I think when I started appreciating this manga. I was like, wow, this is like actually really good. Like each of the characters had like proper thought put into them. Like like they're not just like just created because they're not just treated as like, oh, like a harem, like like a harem show. So like heroine number 1, heroine number 2, heroine number 3. They're not treated like that. Like each has their own characteristic, I guess you could say. In that sense, and there's like thought put into it. Yeah, like I feel like it gets better in the future as far as my memory goes. I liked as I kept reading the manga, I kept liking it more and more. And that's why I kept reading it. So I think more really good stuff are going to come in the future. So I'm looking forward to this. Again, my memory is absolute crap. I do so many things, like like so many manga, so many anime, so many, everything gets mixed up in my head. So like my remembrance time, the time I remember something is barely like 2 to 3 months. More time than that, I forget everything. Because there's just so many mangas I read, so many animes that I watch, so many like gacha games and everything. It just gets mixed up. So in that sense, you could say I have like a short-term memory. So even though I remember the experience, that I really enjoyed it, I don't really remember what exactly happened in the manga. So it's like a fresh experience for me as well. Anyways, I'll end it here. So that is it. Thanks for watching. This is episode 3 and 4 for Dealing with Mikadono Sisters is a Breeze. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed, comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. And that is it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next week with another episode of the Mikadono Sisters. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.